Hello friends and welcome back to the channel for war number 11 of season 42. Today we're taking on HCMA, needing a win in one of these final two wars in order to secure Masters for another season. Team today going in with Omega Sentinel. She will be doing the bulk of the work today. Dr. Doom we have for one fight, and then Magneto House of X for some pre-fights. Going to be starting off today on path number 3. First up we have a Herc on node 6, going to go in here with Doom. And as I was watching this fight back while editing, it really struck me how unnecessarily conservative I played this fight. So I think my thinking going in was, if I don't ever knock him down with a heavy or a special attack, I'll never trigger his feats of strength, and then I don't have to worry about forgetting that he goes stun immune periodically through the fight. And then the secondary benefit, of course, is that holding to my special 3 gives me a guaranteed counter to immortality at the end of the fight here. So I really just rely on basic attacks here. You see I'm not using the heavy, I'm not knocking down with a special attack. This is like the absolute safest way you could play a Herc. And again, it seems really unnecessary because Herc is not what anyone would really call a dangerous defender here. I could have thrown the special 2, gotten some incinerate damage off, and still had more than enough time to build back up to my special 3 before he triggers immortality at the end of the fight. So I have sped the fight up, as you can probably tell. There's really not much else going on here, just a lot of attempted light backdraft intercepts, punishing his special attacks while we whittle him down. We are healing up quite a bit from the Infuriate debuff, as you can see. I think we took a few hits earlier on in the fight. At the time, I thought I was going to use Doom for one more fight, so I was happy to see the healing, although that ended up not being the case. We'll get into that in a few minutes. He has hit 1%, triggered immortality, and we are going to toss this special 3 here to end the fight. I don't know what the final time on this was. I think it was like a minute and a half or so. Way too long for a Herc fight, but anyway. Moving on, we have a Bishop on node 24. We're going to go in here with Omega Sentinel, popping in advanced power boost, specifically because I want to use the special 3 rotation. So since Omega Sentinel is a tactic attacker this season, she's going to be removing prowess effects with her basic attacks in addition to power burning them. And really, if you use Omega Sentinel a lot, the most value you can get out of her special 2 is when they have additional prowess effects on them, and that lets you apply additional incinerates or plasma debuffs. So as a tactic attacker, I feel like there's much more value in just getting it 1 extra bar of power and getting to that special 3, which is guaranteed to apply 6 of those debuffs as long as they don't have one on them already. So with the power burn, it's taking us a little bit of extra time here to intentionally push him to the special 2. We've removed 66% of his health already, just getting him into a place where we feel safe enough to throw the special 3, get a nice full dex on there, toss the special 3. This is going to be guaranteed 6 plasma debuffs. Bishop has crazy energy resistance, so these aren't going to do a ton of damage. I think it's only about 2,000 damage per second. Yeah, there we go. So, but between, again, Omega Sentinel's high attack rating, the debuffs, and the power burn, this Bishop ends up being not a problem at all. And then we finish off the fight with a special 1. Alright, next up we are up in section 2 on path 1. We have a Professor X on node 30. Going to go in here with Omega Sentinel with the heal block pre-fight. Could also have used the tracking pre-fight. However, I think it's safer to counteract the unblockable and the reinvigorated node. I can play around his miss no problem, so I'm not really worried about that. But I don't really want him to go unblockable here. So one thing that does happen, you're going to notice here, is that I do trigger auto block right here, and that is going to end up delaying the fight for a little bit, because again, I'm going for this special 3 rotation. There's no way I'm going to get prowess effects on Professor X. But you don't get those guaranteed 6 debuffs off the special 3 if they have one already active. So I continue to pause the plasma, as you can see here, and it is not until a few seconds later that I realize, when I'm at my special 3, that, oh crap, I need this debuff to go away before I can throw my special 3, otherwise I'm going to lose all of my damage here. So we have successfully waited it out, and then applying one more heal block, tossing the special 3, and you're going to see something else funny happen at the end of this fight. So this fight's been going really well, textbook Omega Sentinel fight with this rotation. He lands this ridiculous special intercept on me. You're going to see he hits me, backs up, boom, immediately into the special 1, and I take it to the face, but he dies anyway. So a couple potions there, but that's some next level AI, I guess. Alright, so now we have this Mysterio on node 40, going to go in here with Omega, starting off with the heal block pre-fight. The plan here is to have a heal block and a tracking debuff up on him, and hopefully maintain those for the rest of the fight. Now, we don't want to be pushing him to his special 2 in this fight because we don't want that power drain. I want to make sure I have access to my special attacks, so the invisibility hopefully will not be an issue. The tracking, not necessary here, just maybe a backup. The heal block is going to prevent the willpower healing that he's going to get from all the debuffs, and this being a 7-star defender, we don't want him healing a lot. I get parried right here trying to punish that heavy. I'm not sure if I was late there on the punish or if the AI just is too quick these days on the recovery, but in either case, he throws his special 1 at a very inopportune moment, and now we're going to lose all of our debuffs waiting out the damage reflect phase. So we're still winning the health race. I'm not too concerned here, just kind of have to restart the rotation a bit. I'm going to fire off the special 2 here shortly, I think with only 2 debuffs active. I'm noticing that I'm just spending too much time waiting out his damage reflect phase, and that's causing all of my debuffs to fall off. So I want to get to as much damage as I can without having to wait for the perfect moment to fire stuff off. So there we go. We're going to fire off the special 2. That's only going to apply 3 incinerates, but it does about 2200 damage per second. And now I'm thinking, okay, I basically just need to wait out the end of the fight here. If we can keep these paused, refresh everything with the special 1, and prevent him from throwing a special before the end of the fight, we're going to get out of here with a W. So there we go. He throws a combo into my block, and then I fire off one more special 1 to finish the fight. A little bit of an annoyance, but we got through it. Okay, so now we have this KORG mini on 46, going to go in here with Omega. Pre-fight doesn't matter here. And we also have a House of X pre-fight applied here for easy parries. So we're going to play this fight basic attacks only. And we have to do that because of the high energy diet node. So all of Omega Sentinel's special attacks are energy damage. I don't actually think we get to a full bar of power anyways because of Burden of Might, interacting with all of the armor buffs that we have. But if we did get to bar of power, we wouldn't use it. And we also can't use her second medium. That's also an energy attack. So you can see here when his shield is up, I am parrying and sticking to 4 light attacks only until the shield is down. And it's only then, when the shield is down, I can safely use my first medium and then go for 4. I do take a Thorns hit there. I mistimed when the shield was going to come back up, so that's just a little bit of damage there. But otherwise, this is a pretty safe fight with her. As long as you have that House of X pre-fight, this makes it very, very manageable and straightforward with Omega Sentinel. And she has, I don't know if it's still the highest base attack in the game, but it's pretty high. And you can see even without access to those special attacks, without access to her damage over time, she can still get through a fight like this pretty easily, and it doesn't take like too long either. I know I have this sped up a bit. That's just because it's a very simple fight here. But yeah, so Omega Sentinel going to crush this KORG, and we are going to move on. Our last fight is this Kingpin mini on node 48. So I originally was assigned Dr. Doom here, and I couldn't really visualize how this fight was going to go with Dr. Doom. And then somebody in our Alliance chat said that they had just used Omega Sentinel for this fight in the same war in a different battle group. So I kind of took a look at the fight and visualized how it would work with her. Decided it would be probably a pretty long fight, but much safer here. So we're going to be, again, never using special attacks, and that's mostly so that we can only trigger that Feat of Vigilance node once. So the deal here is that whenever Kingpin has a buff on him expire, you have to heavy him, or else he's going to falter you, and then you don't really want that. And you're not going to be able to consistently apply a tracking debuff to him here. So the falter is just going to delay the fight and risk the timeout. So the opportunities that Kingpin has for a buff in this fight are twofold. He can gain a buff when he attempts to heavy you, he gets that unstoppable buff, or when he triggers overpower, he gets that overpower buff. So you really just have to pay attention to one of those two things happening. And again, with the House of X pre-fight here, guaranteeing a safe parry, as long as you can time it well and land the heavy in that short window of time after the buff expires. Like right here, it says approaching falter, I immediately parry and land the heavy to prevent the falter. So it was around this time that I kind of started to do some math in my head about the time that was left and his health. This is a rank 5 Kingpin. My Omega Sentinel is only a rank 4. The Omega Sentinel that I talked about a second ago who did this in the other battle group was a rank 5. So I think that in the future, we really need to assign a rank 5 Omega Sentinel to this fight. Because if he is anything less than completely cooperative, and I feel very lucky because he's thrown these specials right away, But if he is passive for even a little bit, you really risk a timeout with a rank 4 versus a rank 5 Kingpin in this fight. And that's just from all of the healing that he's getting constantly throughout the fight. We really can't apply a heal block because chances are he'll just shrug it off immediately, or he'll guarantee to shrug it off later. The other thing you have to worry about is if he goes to that special 2, you really can't do anything about it. So again, that just kind of delays the fight and risks the timeout here. So yeah, from here on out, it's kind of just sticking to the plan. Whenever we see that he has a buff on him, we're going to kind of create an opportunity where we can either parry and heavy him to remove that falter, or we can heavy counter the special 1. So right here, I mess up the spacing on the SP1, and then I trigger the falter on myself. Fortunately, though, he has another special 1 right away from power efficiency and dumps that. So again, if he is anything but completely cooperative, you really are going to risk a timeout in this fight with a lower ranked Omega Sentinel. Other than that, though, we are about 3 minutes into this fight. He has about a third of his health left. I at this point doing the fight, I know that as long as I stick to what I've been doing, I'm going to get this fight done without timing out. However, I'm also conscious of the fact that when it comes to AI in this game, they have in the past had a tendency to kind of turn on a dime, if you will, and they can be cooperative and throw in those specials for 75% of a fight, and then in the last quarter they just, for whatever reason, completely turtle up and don't throw it. So right there, I land the heavy. I time the second hit of the heavy for right after that buff expires. So pretty proud of that one, if I do say so myself. And we are nearing the end of the fight here. I just want to say again, in a fight where Omega Sentinel does not have access to her special attacks or her damage over time, her high base attack rating really puts in so much work here. So a really, really solid fight. We did end up taking the W here. Shout out to HCMA. 6 kills, 0 deaths, and our official record after the one war is removed from our record is 6-4, and it looks like we have secured Masters for another season. So really, really proud of everybody in SSX. We had an absolutely awful start to the season at 1-4, and the way that we were able to kind of claw back and still hit Masters after a 1-4 start is pretty telling of the type of talent we have in this alliance. So shout out to everybody else in SSX. So folks, if you enjoyed this one, let me know by hitting the like button. As always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.